Welcome back to the second hour. The second hour, Tuesday, January 14th, 2014. I'm your host, Dr. Peter Glidden. 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. If you're listening to the podcast, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. Now, on my website, fireyourmdnow.com, I have an online subscription service to which anybody and their mother can subscribe to, regardless of caste, creed, color, sexual orientation, political party, persuasion, whatever. It doesn't matter. And as a member of my insider group, as a Dr. Glidden Insider, you have access to over 100 hours of archived health webinars, which talk about many different health conditions from the holistic perspective. Ever worried or wondered what a holistic doctor's view of asthma is? Well, I don't know what many holistic doctors' view of asthma is, but I can tell you what mine is. I can tell you what the real deal is, and check it out. FireYourMDNow.com. Become an insider. And in addition to the archive stuff, we have 5 hours now of live webinars. 5 hours. We jumped from 3 hours to 5 hours of live webinars a week. From 3 hours to 5 hours of live webinars a week. That's value added right there, baby. And we had a webinar yesterday Monday, right? Yeah, yesterday, Monday. And one of the webinar regulars, John, from the People's Republic of California, put out a nice quote, and I want to repeat it here. And this is, I got to tell you, folks, you don't know what you're missing if you're missing these webinars. There's people all around the world who are in these live chat sessions, people all around the world. It's an awesome experience, a lot of fun, and guess what? We learned something, too. John's quote that I liked, aging is inevitable. Aging is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Aging is inevitable, but suffering is optional. I could not agree more. Give the body its nutritional due. Stop eating food that's gumming up the works. Get out of the way. Let Mother Nature kick in, and let the divine healing properties of the body manifest themselves to their proper potential. Your car can't run without gas, no matter how well it's been tuned up. Your car can't run without engine oil, no matter how well it's been tuned up, etc., etc., etc. Your body needs 90 essential nutrients in order to function the way that nature and God intended it to. But you cannot get these nutrients from food. You can't. It's impossible. The nutrients that your body needs to maximize and optimize, just function regularly, are not present in the food. They're not there. They are not there. Period. In order for you to survive on planet Earth, there's a couple things you got to do. You got to build houses. You got to live in dwellings. You got to heat them in the winter and cool them in the summer. You got to find and purify water. You have to eliminate your waste appropriately. You have to eat food. Well, there's one more thing you have to do. You have to secure 90 essential nutrients and swallow them every day as nutritional supplements because they're not in your food. So that's what we bring to the table. Science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition which fulfills your body's nutrient needs and which generates, perhaps for the first time in your life, a positive response by the body in order to optimize its function, because for the first time in your life, presumptively, when you take these nutritional supplements, your body will have everything that it needs. And that is a game changer. Now, you know, we live in a world where not everybody gets it, where not everybody is the brightest bulb in the bunch. And so when we are telling people about what we're up to, if people give you a hard time and they say, oh, you know, why on earth would I spend good money on vitamins because you just pee them out? Or, well, my doctor says vitamins don't work. Or when somebody gives you a line of crap, you try to bring them into the light of medical nutrition and they slap you down, they give you a line of crap. Well, I've got a couple of comebacks. I got a couple of comebacks for you. You ready? My favorite, perhaps my favorite, polite, semi-politically correct comeback of all time is the following. Gee, I'd love to agree with you, but if I did, we'd both be wrong. So somebody says, oh, you know, I'm not going to take those vitamins. My doctor told me they just give me expensive urine. Your reply, well, holy smokes, I'd love to agree with you, but if I did, we'd both be wrong. And then you turn around and walk away. I'd love to agree with you, but if I did, we'd both be wrong. Bazinga! My second most favorite comeback for the ill-informed who, have no problem spewing their ignorance into the world, who have no problem spewing their ignorance into the world, is the following. I'm glad to see you're not letting your education interfere with your ignorance. I'm glad to see that you're not letting your education get in the way of your ignorance. You got to make a stand for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and if you can add a little humor and a little levity into the situation while you are making a poignant point, it becomes a fun interchange because you're no longer frightened about being slammed down. You're no longer frightened about having stupid people tell you stupid stuff and not knowing what to say. Oh, I'm glad to see you're not letting your education get in the way of your ignorance. I'd love to agree with you, but if I did, we'd both be wrong. See you later. Just like that. Bazinga! Let's go to Connecticut and see what Isaac's up to. He's been on hold for a long time. Isaac, thanks for the patience. You are live. Come in, Isaac. Hello, Isaac. Are you there, Isaac? All right, we're going to try somebody else, and we'll come back to Isaac in a minute. How about Travis in North Carolina? Hey, Travis, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how are you?
Pretty good, Travis. Hey, hold the phone a little close to your mouth. I'm getting a weak signal on your end.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little bit better, but not much.
Okay, how about now?
A little bit better. I guess we're just going to have to run with it, Travis. How can I help, man? Thanks for the call.
I've been having some problems with vertigo for probably about 10 months now, and I've been taking longevity supplements, and I went gluten-free, and been feeling like I was doing a little better. This chiropractor I've been going to wanted me to have it's called a Standard Food Panel IgG, testing for food allergies. And going by this thing, I can't have anything in the longevity line because it says I have a problem with eggs, mushrooms, cranberry, whey, and I've got a hard time believing that. I really don't think I got a problem with this stuff. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what I know. What was the name of the lab? Do you remember?
I'm looking at the sheet. It's U.S. Biotech Laboratories.
Yeah, son of a gun. I was hoping you weren't going to say that. In the wonderful world of laboratory testing, there's something called sensitivity and specificity, which is how accurate is the lab test, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are some lab tests that they're really accurate, and there are some lab tests that are halfway accurate, and there are some lab tests that are just stupid. You shouldn't even do them because they're inaccurate all the time. The TSH test that doctors use to check your thyroid levels is completely inaccurate all the time. I don't know why they still use it. Well, I do know why they still use it, because they're stupid and they have lots of mental inertia. But my point here is that amongst all of the labs that exist in the United States, one of the best for food allergy testing is U.S. Biotech in Florida. They do a really good job. However, the science behind food allergies is in a gray area. It's in a gray area. Nobody really knows what it means to test positive with an antibody to a certain food. Nobody knows what it means, and I'll give you a perfect example. I think I've treated more cases of Lyme disease than any naturopathic doctor in the world. I worked for 12 years in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, with a very high density of Lyme patients. I've treated lots and lots and lots and lots of Lyme patients over the years. And I've had patients who have been bitten by a tick. They have the tick in a little jar. They get all the classical signs and symptoms of Lyme disease. They get the bullseye rash. They get the fever. They get all the other signs and symptoms. And we test the tick. And the tick is positive for the Lyme spirochete, but we test their blood and they come back negative. They come back negative, even though I know they have Lyme disease. Now, I've had other patients who were bitten by a tick 20 years ago, and they're completely symptom-free. They feel great, and the Lyme test comes back positive. So the fact that you test positive to an antibody gives us a little bit of information. But honestly, Travis, I'm not going to put a whole lot of clinical weight on exactly what the heck does that mean. I'm going to rely on the body more than I'm going to rely on the lab. So here's what I would like you to do. I want you to make a list of the stuff that the test told you were allergic to that is in longevity stuff, like eggs and cranberries and mushrooms, okay? Mm-hmm. And then for 7 days in a row, for 3 days in a row. So don't have any eggs for 3 days, all right? And then on day 4, I want you to sit down at a table. I want you to cook some eggs up. I want you to sit down at a table, and I want you to take your pulse. I want you to take your pulse, see how many beats per minute your heart is beating at, and then I want you to eat the eggs. I want you to remain seated. Don't get up. Don't move around. Don't do anything else. And 5 minutes after you've eaten the eggs, after the very last bite of the egg, 5 minutes after the last bite, I want you to take your pulse again. You're going to have to remain seated, right? So if the pulse rate has increased by 10 beats a minute, you're probably allergic to the egg. If the pulse rate has increased by 10 beats a minute, you're probably allergic to that food. And, you can do the same thing with cranberries. You can do the same thing with mushrooms. You can do the same thing with anything. You have to abstain from it for 3 days, and then take your pulse, and then eat some, and then 5 minutes later take your pulse again. And if the pulse is elevated more than 10 beats a minute, you're probably allergic to it. This is a much better way to figure this stuff out, right? And honestly, and this is what happens when the MDs monopolize the medical theater, because this type of research should have been done decades ago. We should know, right? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. What the heck does it mean when you test positive on a food allergy test? Right now, we don't. We don't. You stick around, Travis. I want to clue you in on something else when we come back.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. FireYourMDNow.com is the website that should be at the very top of your browser, and you should be sharing it with everybody on your fan page, everybody on your Facebook page, everybody on your LinkedIn page, everybody who's anybody in your life. Share the link to this website and this radio show, and let's get the word out. We're talking to Travis in North Carolina about vertigo. So, Travis, how long have you had the vertigo, and what happened to it when you were taking the longevity stuff initially? Oops, hold on.
It started in January of last year. Then I had one real bad episode, and then it happened again in, I believe, the end of March. Had another real bad episode, and then started taking. I got to see Dr. Wallach in Charlotte, North Carolina. Started taking about half of what he told me to take and eliminated gluten, and I've seen a lot of improvement, but I still get dizzy, but not vertigo.
Okay. So then all that you need to do is let more time go by in order for the body to fix itself to the ability that it's able to fix itself. Now, if you want to increase anything in order to speed things up, then take more calcium. Get 1 extra bottle of calcium a month. The least expensive one longevity has that's effective is called Cal Toddy. It's my favorite, Cal Toddy, CalToddy. It's sold by a company called Supralife. Supralife, which is it's a subsidiary of longevity. It's in your longevity back office. And you can go to the grocery store and pick up some Knox gelatin, and, consume 1 packet of gelatin a day. 1 packet of gelatin, get some water, heat up some water, pour it like you're making tea. But instead of putting tea into the teacup, put the gelatin into the teacup, drink it down, and if you can't handle that, then you can just pour the Knox gelatin solution into your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. So there's more than one way to skin this cat, but really remember, the only time that medical nutrition doesn't work is if you're not taking enough or you just haven't given it enough time to work. And healing is a process, not an event. Just hang out with the therapy, man. Add some more calcium if you can. The Knox gelatin is extremely inexpensive, and that will also go a long way towards helping to speed up your recovery. But don't overlook the obvious, Travis. If you become a longevity distributor and you lean on your upline and you treat this like a business, not like a hobby, then you're going to be able to get $400, $500, $600 worth of nutritional supplements for free every month, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. That's what I would do if I were you, man. And I am not blowing smoke, Travis, man. I've hung out with all of the big money earners in longevity for the last 4.5 years. I've traveled all around the world and lectured for them everywhere. And they're not any different than you or me. They're not any different. There's no, special, you don't have to have a magnetic personality to be successful in longevity. You just have to have a willingness to learn, a willingness to take action, and a willingness to help people in your life. But give it more time, man. Take a little bit more calcium and get some Knox gelatin and give that a ride. And do the little pulse test with the food that you think that you have a problem with. And give me a call back and tell me what happened after you've done that. I appreciate your trust. Thanks, Travis. From the Carolinas to Illinois, let's go talk to Sam. Hey, Sam, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Actually, here, you said. Hello, how are you?
Hey, good, Sam. What's happening?
Real good, thank you. I'm so glad to be able to speak to you. I've been a longevity member now for 8 months.
Nice.
And, yes. Recently got my mother involved, who is 82 and living in Puerto Rico and raises chickens. So, brain-wise, she was all there, sharp, witty, everything. But her body was deteriorating. Hunchback, pain, just everything.
Yeah.
Well, when she took the longevity, she's been taking it now about on her second month. The third day into it, she called me while I was at work on the fourth day, actually, and had nothing but good news. She was so blown away with all the changes. Her equilibrium came back. She was no longer fatigued standing at the sink. Going down to tend to her chickens was always a chore. And she chases chickens now, and she's really doing good. Yes,
Sam,
sir.
you're the greatest. Hey, listen, Sam, we're up against the hard break. Stick around. We'll take this up after the break. Don't go anywhere, man. I want to talk more about this. You hang out with longevity, ladies and gentlemen, you will see testimonials. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here. 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Let's see if Sam is still with us. Sam, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, so tell me more, man. So you've got this woman, and you didn't even have enough energy to stand at the sink, and now she's chasing chickens around like she was a teenager again. That's pretty remarkable, don't you think?
In a major way, especially in 3 days.
Yeah, now, just think to yourself, Sam, if this woman had gone to the MDs, what would they have told her?
Well, first of all, they would have cut her up for her shoulder, and they would have told her probably to start taking all these cholesterol-reducing diets and different drugs and stuff. And who knows, they might have admitted her even.
Yeah, and they would have told her, you're just getting old, and, lack of energy, that's a very common complaint, and if you'd like, we can give you some amphetamines, or, just have a strong cup of coffee. And it's nonsense. And this is why longevity is so important, because there are millions of people just like her all around the world, and they need our help. They don't know that we exist, and the only way we're going to get into their heads is through a word-of-mouth coalition, a grassroots coalition of the informed, and good on you for having a big reach in that way, Sam. I mean, that's a really great testimonial, man.
Absolutely. She asked me to ask you a couple things because we have her on the joint and bone pack, and she's also getting some extra glucogel, but she wants to know how much of the glucogel she should take. She weighs 133 pounds, and also she would like to know if she should be taking extra copper, if any, and how much.
Okay, well, I don't know. Does she have a problem with varicose veins or, white or gray hair?
Yes, both.
Okay. So 133 pounds, we divide that by 10. That's 13 glucogel a day, and then we multiply that by 30 days in a month. That means she needs 390 glucogel a month. So Youngevity has 240 count. So if we take 240 away from that, that equals 150. So she can get away with one glucogel at the 240 count and one glucogel at the 120 count. One glucogel at the 240 count and one glucogel at the 120 count. So she's already getting 240 count glucogel in the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, so all she needs to order extra would be one bottle of 120 count glucogel. Honestly, I would like to see her take more calcium. I'd rather see her take more calcium than, if money's an issue, I don't know, maybe it's not. I would have her take an extra bottle of calcium before I worried about adding any extracurricular glucogel into the bargain here. And nobody knows how much copper. It's a very difficult thing to dial in. The recommendation is, and remember, this is one of the benefits of holistic medical nutrition, because when we give copper plus the other 90 essential nutrients, it's different than if we're just delivering copper, right? Or, just giving vitamin C, or just giving vitamin D like the knucklehead MDs do, who don't even think that vitamins work. On the one hand, don't take your vitamins. They give you expensive urine, and here, take some vitamin D. It's good for your bones. They're hypocrites. So my recommendation when we're trying to maximize copper is take Youngevity's selenium, because Youngevity selenium has copper in it in requisite amounts. The recommendation would be one bottle of selenium per 50 pounds per month, not to exceed 4 bottles a month. So she should take 3. I'd give her 3 bottles of selenium a month and call it a day. Proof of the pudding's in the eating. When somebody's doing the right stuff, there should be specific and measurable results kind of rolling themselves out over time. And as long as she continues to improve, then everybody is happy.
Okay, and then as far as, thank you for that, I really appreciate that. Now, about 3 years ago, she fell, and that's how she broke her rotator cuff, and the doctors told her it'll be a 50-50 chance that her shoulder just keep popping out, so she said, forget it, I'm just going to find a way to get myself healed. And not knowing, but being that she nutrited for many, many years, she just thought there had to be some. She just knew that God must have made something. So then along came Dr. Wallach, and then I sent her the info. So she's curious about that rotator cuff for healing.
Well, so that would be glucogel. So if we're specifically attempting to heal connective tissue, which in this case, or strengthen connective tissue, then it would be prudent for us to take into the body adequate amounts of nutrition appropriate for connective tissue, and that's glucogel. So, having said that, I'm going to retract what I said a minute ago and tell her to take 2 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count every month. 2 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count every month if we're actively trying to fix, an injury, right? It's not a bad idea to do more. In this case, glucogel for 90 days. I shouldn't think she would need to do more for more than 90 days. But that would be a good strategy right now to up the ante with the glucogel in the face of a historical trauma to connective tissue.
All right, great. And if I could ask one question for my wife.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. She's also on the Healthy Start Pack about the same time I've been on, but she's noticing lately that her close vision is not as good.
Well, I'm pretty sure she needs a divorce, Sam. I'm pretty sure that's why her vision's going. No, of course I don't mean that. You need to renew your vows. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. One of the things we think about when vision starts to go is supporting eye health, right? So how do you support eye health? Well, one really good way to support eye health is to make sure you're taking enough selenium. So selenium is very important to eye health, and so the recommendation, again, would be 1 bottle per 50 pounds per month, not to exceed more than 4 bottles a month. And I don't really have much clinical experience with it, but I trust Dr. Wallach. And Dr. Wallach formulated Vision FX specifically to give eye nutrients. So I would take some Vision FX, 1 bottle of Vision FX per 100 pounds of body weight a month for 3 months. Do some Vision FX, make sure you're taking requisite amounts of selenium. And also, there's a very interesting thing that everybody overlooks, and it's really glaringly obvious. If you dissect somebody's head, there are these little tiny muscles that attach to the eyes. And they're the smallest muscles in the body, and I forget how many of them. There's 6 or 7 or 8 of them, and they make the eyes move up and down and side to side, and they also squeeze or relax the eye to help the eye focus. They're muscles, no different than the muscles in your arm. So if you want to strengthen your arm muscles so you can do more things with your arms, lift heavier weights, you do push-ups, or, you lift weights to strengthen the biceps. Well, as it turns out, there are exercises that you can do to strengthen your eye muscles. And that's never a bad idea when we're attempting to support and promote the structure and function of the eye, right? So do a little Google search for the Bates method of vision recovery. Bates, like B like baby, A, T like Thomas, E, S. Bates method of vision recovery. I think that's what it's called. And Dr. Bates, years ago, I think this book was published in the 60s, came out with a whole series of exercises that you can do for your eyes. It's like little push-ups for your eyes, which strengthen the muscles in your eye, which is never a bad idea when you're trying to increase vision. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's most excellent.
All right, you're the greatest, man. I appreciate you. Keep up the good work. And remember, you are the last best hope for your friends and family members, church members, and community members to live a long, healthy, and wealthy life. Keep up the good work, Sam. It's people like you that keep longevity alive. Florida's next. Let's go to talk to Alicia and see what's going on at the dentist's. Hey, Alicia, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Mr. Glidden. I'm calling about many things, but I'll probably save other things for another day because it's a whole lot about family members. Okay, I have a sibling. She's health conscious and a vegetarian, so she's very picky. She went to the dentist 2 years ago, and he injected a needle, I think, too deep and caused damage, is what I told her today over the phone. And she got upset when I mentioned, Bell's palsy. But I said, look it up, because I think he just caused some damage that can be cured. But she may have bone loss, so she doesn't want anything with beef or meat. So I'm trying to find out what is best to cure her, because it's been 2 years and her face, the swelling's still it's not as bad, but it's still swollen and her face drooping, and she's very concerned. What can she do?
All right, so first of all, we don't profess to cure disease. We don't profess to cure disease. We don't even profess to treat disease. What we do is we provide science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition strategies which support and promote different structures and different functions of the human body. So if I thought or knew that I had nerve damage, I would eat a diet that's high in cholesterol, because that's what my nerves are made from. And there's no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist, so she doesn't need to be worried about that. For goodness sake, I'd have her eat 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs a day. I'd have her start to use butter if she's not already, especially salted butter, and I would tell her not to be afraid of foods that are high in cholesterol, because that's what her nerves are made from. Now, this was either... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. She's been eating... she's a light eater, and I think underweight like myself. I'm trying to help myself. I'm on your product, by the way, your products, and so I have questions because I don't want to lose weight too much. So I got to find better things to eat. But back to her, she was eating like fish. You know how you eat like sardines.
Yeah.
And she did say her cholesterol was high. And then I said, it's probably not to worry about, but you got to have everything as a whole, nutrition-wise.
Well, the MDs are wrong, because they'll tell her that if her cholesterol is over 100, it's high, and that's nonsense. We like to see cholesterol be, they'll tell you if it's over 199, if it's under 199, you're good. If it's over 199, it's bad. I like to see somebody's cholesterol be between 200 and 300.
200.
If it's not between 200 and 300, then it's too low. And she shouldn't listen to an MD about medical nutrition. She shouldn't, because they're nuts.
She's very picky. She knows a lot of knowledge, like naturalnews.com and Mercola and all that.
Yeah, all right. So good. So I doubt very much that she's going to listen to you. So what you want to do...
Well, this is a surprise, because usually she gives me tips and we share stuff. This is the first time she's interested in me finding something through your organization.
Well, you should have, the next time, to have her call me.
Right, and she's strapped a lot on her plate. That's why I told her I'll try to get through for her and get an answer quickly. So what do you recommend she take that will help her restore everything and that doesn't have anything having to do with meat?
So the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. So how much does she weigh?
She's probably underweight. She didn't give me her weight
So here's what we do: 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month.
Okay, 1 bottle of selenium per 50
pounds per month. And 1 bottle of Z-Radical per 50 pounds per month. 1 Z-Radical per 50 pounds per month, 1 selenium per 50 pounds per month, and 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds per month. Thanks for the phone call, Alicia. We're up against a hard break. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to finish it up with Alan in Oregon when we come back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. January 14th, 2014. Hope you've learned something today. Hope you've had fun along the way. Remember, if somebody gives you crap about longevity, just say to them, well, I'd like to agree with you, but if I did, we'd both be wrong. Smile and move along your way. Become a CEO. It's $100 off today and tomorrow only. Tomorrow at midnight Pacific time, the deal ends. It's been extended 2 weeks. This is it. It's the end of the line. Jump over the fence. Take your business to the next level, and let's change the world together. Now let's go to Oregon and see what Alan is up to. Hey, Alan, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Well, thanks for taking it. I have a couple questions. I'll run them together really quick. The first thing we were talking about was minerals. And my question on the minerals is there's a lot of people who are financially unable to really afford the proper amount of Longevity's product line.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, since 2/3 of the essentials are minerals, I'd like to know what your thoughts are as far as anything over the 100 pounds to be able to substitute for a period of time extra minerals instead of bringing on the extra other like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine.
Well, it's a great point. It's well taken, and we talk about it all the time. Just the plant minerals all by themselves, either the ultimate minerals, which are the minerals in a capsule form, the cherry mints, or the plant-derived minerals, are an excellent foot-in-the-door longevity product because they do, in fact, 1 bottle per 100 pounds per month provides people with 66% of their nutrient needs. And, you get a little bit from food. You can get some EFAs from food and some vitamins, of course, but you can't get your minerals. And so if money's an issue, and for many people it is, initially, before they kind of get into the longevity thing, absolutely positively just start with the plant-derived minerals, and that is a really excellent first blush experience of longevity. I'm 100% behind that idea.
Okay, other question is, I heard, I don't remember when it was because I listen to different podcasts when I'm out working my job. I have the benefit of being able to listen to you on your podcast, so I can't tell you, but I remember you said that you had a 7-year-old girl in Portland, Oregon making $600 a month with longevity.
Yeah, she's up in Seattle, actually. She's in Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
$600 a month. How about that? Now, of course, her family's helping her. She's not doing it all on her own, but she's 7 years old.
Yeah.
This is it, man. If a 7-year-old can do it, well, just about anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it here. And let me ask you this one question. I ran into a lady yesterday on my break. She had that disease. The only way I can remember it, it was called elephant man disease. She had bumps all over her face.
Yeah.
Did not look good.
Yeah.
And I thought, And I looked for one of your podcasts that had it, and you had something called elephantomatosis or something, which was the swelling of the feet, I guess, or the extremities above the ankles. Yeah. And that wasn't it. Is there any program that she could be put on that would help reverse that problem?
Well, I don't know, man. I've never had any experience with it. I'm going to have to look that one up and address it, in tomorrow's show if I can. Sure. But remember, right? What we don't need to it's best if we know specifically what's going on with the pathology of the illness. But most of the time we don't. We're just kind of in the ballpark, right? So It's never a bad idea with longevity. It's never a bad idea with anybody to start them on the Healthy Start Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight, and eliminate the 10 bad foods. That's never a bad strategy for anybody. And most people who do that, regardless of what their pathology is, they experience an improvement in the first 90 days. Often it's in the first, 28 days. Their mood, their energy, their appetite, their sex drive, something brightens up, and oftentimes it's more than one thing. So it's never a bad strategy to start somewhere when we've got one of those weird things, like the elephant man disease, right? Yeah. So remember, we lean on Dr. Wallach, and we lean on God because the body has a remarkable ability to fix itself if it has the stuff it needs. It's never a bad place to begin to give the body its nutritional due. Thanks, Alan. Keep up the good work. I appreciate your support. Ladies and gentlemen, you've done it again. You spent another 2 hours with Dr. Glidden. I hope you had fun. God willing, back in the saddle tomorrow. Until then, live long and prosper.